So when it comes to the Android ecosystem, one thing Google really doesn't do is they don't really do a whole bunch of monitoring when it comes to the Google Play Store. Usually what happens, pretty much any app is allowed to be on the Google Play Store. On one hand, that sounds like a really good idea, and on another hand, that's actually a really bad idea. Like for instance, the upsides of Google not really monitoring the Google Play Store is the fact that you get things like emulation, you also get things that customize the UI. You pretty much get any app under the sun. Since Google really doesn't monitor what apps can be on the Google Play Store, it means pretty much anything is on limits and pretty much anything can be in the Google Play Store when it comes to apps. So that means you get more customization options. You can do, like I said, things like emulation. You can pretty much do a whole bunch of things because Google does not care pretty much what goes into the Google Play Store. I'm sure that there is some limitation, and Google does check once in a while for different things that go into the Google Play Store, but for the most part, Google really does not care what type of apps go into the Google Play Store. Now let's move over to iOS and Apple. If you look at iOS and Apple, Apple does monitor the App Store, the Apple App Store on iOS devices. That means you have less apps to choose from. It also means that the type of apps you're getting aren't going to be the same. You can't really do any customization of the UI. You can't really have any apps that are going to be apps that you can do anything with the UI really. But then when it comes to quality control, the quality control on the Apple iOS devices are going to be just better. That means when you're downloading apps on the Apple App Store, pretty much every app is actually going to be quite good, and you know you're getting quality apps. Of course, not every app on the iOS platform is going to be good. Of course, it's always hit or miss depending on what developer and depending on what you're getting. But when it comes to bad apps or malicious apps, you're really not going to get anything too bad when it comes to the Apple ecosystem, just because they do monitor that heavily and they do choose what goes into the App Store and what doesn't go into the App Store. Now moving down to the bad side of the Google Android operating system. The bad side is, since Google doesn't monitor all too well the Google Play Store, it means that there could be some malicious apps in the Google Play Store, and that also means that when you download these sets of apps, they could give you viruses, they could give you malware, they could be spying on you and things like that. And I currently have a list of applications I highly don't recommend you downloading for your Android device. If you have an Android device, please stay away from these applications. These applications are actually known to give you viruses and also give you malware, and they can also take bank credentials, steal your passwords, steal your photos, your videos, your personal information on your Android device. Disregard these applications at all costs. I'm not actually going to give you the full entire list of all the applications. What I mean is, I'm not actually going to name them for you, but they should be coming up on screen right now, and I should be showing you the apps that I'm talking about that are very malicious, and I highly don't recommend downloading these to your Android device. If you notice the list that's on screen right now, you may notice one thing. One thing is they all have one thing in common. It's pretty much they're all boosters, battery improvers. They're pretty much things that either clean up your OS or they try to give you battery improvements, and those applications are just very faulty and very bad. Not all of them are going to give you viruses, and not all of them are going to give you malware, and they're going to be malicious apps, but the ones on this list anyway are going to give you some type of malware, and they will be stealing information from your Android device as they're being sit in your tray. And that also goes to that also means even if you're not using those apps per se, you just have them installed on your Android device, they're still going to be taking data from you, whether you use those applications as not. As long as they're running on your Android device, then they're going to be doing some type of spying, some type of malware, some type of viruses. Overall, they're just not good apps to download, so I do not recommend downloading those apps. And on top of that, you really do have to be careful when it comes to the Google Play Store. As long as you know that it's a really good developer and it's a well-known product, most of the time you're not going to get anything weird and any problems when it comes to applications on the Google Android operating system. But when it comes to third-party apps or just some apps, if you think it looks sketchy or it really has a bad rating, or if it's usually some weird application like most of those ones that claim to speed up your phone or give you battery improvements or things like that, then you know those could be kind of sketchy. And honestly, most of the time those applications that give you a boost in terms of your battery are claim to clean up your Android operating system aren't really cleaning up your Android operating system, and they aren't actually giving a boost in your battery. You think there's actually an app out there that's in the Google Play Store right now that can actually improve your battery life when it comes to your Android device? Of course not. There's no physical way to make your Android device actually have more battery. It just depends on the battery capacity. But there's people out there that will go to the Google Play Store. They'll download these things. They'll see like boosting your battery and cleaning your OS because they think their OS is too slow. They think an application might make their phone run faster, less laggy, and things like that. But overall, they're just getting tricked because we know none of those apps can physically make your phone have more battery, run faster, run better. Overall, you should just know to stay away from those apps. You shouldn't have those apps installed at all, no matter what. But those are just some apps I highly recommend avoiding. Anyway, guys, this is Wayne from MyTech News, signing out. Boop.